back to verse 16 of chapter 3. What happens to people whose eyes Jesus opened, who they willfully blind themselves back again so they don't see? Verse 16. So then, because you are lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will vomit you out of my mouth. Why, Jesus? What are you so upset about? Because you say, verse 17 of chapter 3 of Revelation, I am rich, I've become wealthy, I don't need anything. What is the fourth petition of the Lord's Prayer? Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. What's the next petition? Give us what? This day our what? Our what bread? Daily? Are you kidding? I don't want daily bread. I want a whole year's worth. In fact, I'd like a lifetime worth. In fact, I want enough money so I never have to work another day of my life. I don't want to be dependent on daily. Do you know what the Lord's Prayer says? God's plan is that we need Him on a minimum of a daily basis. How long can you go without the Lord? A lot of Christians, a long time. They don't really need the Lord. They don't need anything. That makes Jesus sick. Look, you say, I'm rich, have become wealthy, I have need of nothing. And you don't know what happened to you. The rest of verse 17, you are wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. Well, when we're distracted, when our dish goes from on pointing at Christ to pointing down at this place, and this world is my home, and I'm not just passing through, I'm living for everything I can get here. When we're distracted, our life can sicken Christ. When we don't pursue Christ and float away, we become miserable and blind. Remember I told you about you're in the canoe and the Lord turned you around and says start paddling? When you stop paddling and start floating, you start becoming, look at this, you are wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. How do you get back? Well, look at verse 18. I counsel you, buy from me gold refined in the fire that you may be rich, white garments that you may be clothed, the shame of your nakedness may not be revealed. What is he talking about there? They're going to be people that suffer loss in heaven, and they're not going to be clothed with the garments of the righteous acts of the saints, Revelation 19:10. See, the book of Revelation was a lifelong motivation to the early saints to do good works, to live for what Christ called them to do, because they didn't want to be ashamed in heaven. You say, I thought everything was perfect in heaven. Yeah, as it's becoming perfect between the judgment seat of Christ and us rolling into heaven, do you remember what it says he does? He wipes away all tears. Where would there be tears in heaven that he needs to wipe away? What about the people in 1 Corinthians 3:10 through 15 that suffer loss? They spent their whole life for clothes, for athletics, for their tan, their hair, their car, their whatever, their status, and it all got burned up. What they really wanted their whole life. And they get to heaven. They still have the crown of life. They're there. But they look at their life and they say, I wasted my earthly life. So that's why Revelation's written. I counsel you to buy from me. Now look at verse 19. As many as I love, I rebuke and chasten, therefore be zealous and repent. Loving obedience is the only source of real, true wealth. Jesus counsels us, get gold from me